Hi, my name is Ep.00, and it is my duty to reveal to the world the location of the Garden of Eden. I do not want to do this. In fact, I feel it is a burden, because it upset my life 4 years ago when I discovered it the first time. But this discovery has to be made public now, before nature or man or greed have a chance to destroy it. Public knowledge will allow us, as a global culture, to protect the garden wisely. It might even bring us more together as a species. One could argue I have been given a gift, but the gift is not for me, and I am not to keep it to myself. It is a gift meant for all of you, all of us, so you can once again access the garden. Eden is real. It is not a metaphor for ethics or for the earth we live upon. It is not a vague location, like a valley with biblical sounding names. It is a specific place on earth. As you'll see, it has a diameter of about 25 kilometers, and the monuments inside of it have been remarkably preserved. Adam and Eve await us there, together with many other interesting characters, an earlier generation of man. I will release this information over the course of a series of videos. I will take you through the steps which were required in my journey, so you too will know how to make the same journey. The clues to its location have been meticulously preserved by all of our cultures and religions around the world. They have not been secretly guarded, but they were hidden in open view. This implies that the garden was never the preserve of a single culture or religion, but is the inheritance of us all. All a person had to do to find its location was to combine the symbols of several cultures. Indeed, the ancients made a puzzle which has a solution and distributed the pieces. They did this in the form of multiple retellings of the same story about our common origin. If you like solving puzzles and mysteries, discover a glimpse of humanity's dawn, or understand the promise God made to us in the beginning, then this series is for you. For me, all of this, remarkably, started with a vivid dream that struck me during a bad night, where I had an intense moment of despair about life, career, the normal things. We all experience this at one time or another. But in that dream, in that night, suddenly, for no good reason at all, disparate pieces of information I picked up during my life clicked together while I was laying in bed defeated, licking my wounds and waiting for the world to just stop. In that moment, it became for me a truthful saying that sometimes in the deepest dark we find the brightest light. I was struck by the fact that Cairo means Mars. You know, the city in Egypt, Cairo, the capital, means Mars. At first glance, this is nothing remarkable. But somehow, I knew that in that dream, I found a puzzle piece of something important. But I didn't even know what puzzle it belonged to. What was this puzzle piece solving? All I could say was that this sudden intuition rang true, and that I had to do something with it. Eventually, it took me to the Pyramids of Egypt, and once there, I got aid from the planets and the stars, as our forefathers and even the alchemists of the Middle Ages predicted. And these celestial bodies, in turn, eventually guided me to the location of Eden on Earth. But first things first. If you indulge me and follow along, you will need an open mind, because the ancients shared knowledge with a different logic than we are used to today. They worked with synesthesia, symbol, and association. The scientific mind will only understand what we find at the destination, but it will not be able to make the initial mental jump required for the journey to get there. His methodical skepticism, he thinks, does not allow for such intuition. Therefore, he is blocked and stopped in his traces. He cannot even begin. You, along the journey, will need to dispel belief just for a while. You'll need to wait until the later episodes when we'll all arrive in Eden to get the full explanation and the clear view. Otherwise, you will only see and not understand what your eyes are telling you. Once we arrive in Eden, we'll uncover many surprising facts. We'll understand better what the Eden story actually means. You will see that the garden is more interesting than what the story of Genesis preserved, and that its layout has more compartments than were preserved in the layout of the temples of Judaism, which are supposed to represent the Garden of Eden, and in fact they do. We'll understand more about the origin of our religions and many of our cultures worldwide. So, to conclude, this journey will be an enrichment to us all. So please join me now on this journey and let us start finding the Garden of Eden. Please share, subscribe, and ask for updates.